Hey guys, how's it going? So today actually we're going to be looking into this problem. It's called classify business type. So we need to classify each business type as either a restaurant, cave, school, or others. So essentially, a restaurant should have a word restaurant in the business name, and a cave should have either cave, coffee in their business name, as well as school should have school in the business name. So if none of the business name contain on any of these, then it will be classified as others. I think it's pretty straightforward, and yeah, it's easy to understand this problem. So the only thing that I want to kind of like drill into is the edge cases. So the first edge case is that essentially if we go into use specific function SQL, essentially something like this. Let's say we have something like this, and so it's called Mzansi Coffee. This essentially will be detected as coffee, and it's so. My first question is that as to the interviewer, if like, is this okay, or they want only the word appearing alone, like so, like coffee, like so alone, because we can imagine that we have some sort of like a word, and inside that word it has like cave, and it's a word, it's continuous. So the code that you're gonna write, it's gonna say this, it's cave, even if it's not. So hence you need to be extra careful, and you need to make sure that all of these edge cases are handled very well, right? I hope it makes sense what I'm trying to kind of like say here. So yeah, that's an edge case that I'll think about as I'm kind of like writing this. And in this case, let's just assume that anything that contains coffee, whether it is embedded in a word, then the interviewer should be fine with that. So I'm gonna go with that approach. But I'm gonna show you how you can handle whereby you don't want the word that are embedded in a word or something like that. And so you know what I mean, right? So because here we're looking for businesses, and we know that they say classify each business. So I'm gonna use a distinct here because we can have multiple businesses occurring multiple times. So the reason I'm doing this is just to get it distinct. Yeah, this word always gave me problems, when it comes to spelling it. But anyway, I'm gonna say distinct business name, and I'm gonna say case, and I'm gonna say when business name. Then I'm gonna use this function I like. It's basically because I wanna make sure that we are not case sensitive, because when you're using like this, let's say you had something like restaurant but with the capital letter R, it was not going to be able to detect this restaurant. So I like essentially is going to help us to kind of like handle that edge cases. Even if the business name is start with an R, it's still okay. So we're still good there. So what we can do then, we can say restaurant. I think it is going to be an A restaurant, and yeah, then we're gonna say F. Then we're gonna say like so. I think we should use one parenthesis. Then we're gonna say restaurant, like so, and we should be fine. Yep, we should be fine, right? Anyway, we will see all the parts at the later stages anyway. So yeah, let's get into the second component, which is business name. So here we can see that we have a little bit of a trouble here, because we can see that we can actually have to detect three things. And my question is, how do we then do that? Are we going to have multiple like statement? Nope. So what we can do is that we can still use the like function, but we're going to use this handy function, which is called any. This is, by the way, Postgres. So I'm not sure if this function exists in like something like SQL Server. Anyway, but essentially any is going to allow us to actually compare the business name to these different things that they've listed here. So we're going to say any, then we're going to pass them in an array like so. Then we're going to say pass it like this. So I'm going to say cave, then I'm going to pass that. To kind of like deal with the UTF-8. So I'm going to copy this the way it is. There's that thing there. I don't know what it's called. Backtick. Yeah, I think it's called backtick. Anyway, so yeah. Then we have a cave like so. Then the next thing that we're gonna have to detect is the coffee. Also, we're gonna make sure that anything can come before and after it or whatever. So when we're done, we're just gonna say then essentially this is gonna be cave category. Okay, then we do the same thing and we say it's business name, but this time we're doing it for the school. So we're gonna say if we found anything to be school, so we like to detect it like so. Then we're gonna say then school. Then what we would like to do is that we would like to say else, right? Okay, so I'm gonna write it here. So because of if any of the business name don't detect any of these things here, then we can it's safe for us to say okay, anything can be others and it's fine. But we're gonna end this as in like we're gonna say end as business classification. That's what we're gonna call this classification, and we're gonna say from what table are we given? We're given this table, so we should copy this the way it is, and we're gonna kind of like give it there. So we're gonna say okay, we're coming from here. So I want to make sure that you understand this is that if we have something like a word, right, a word, then inside that word something like cave or care, then it continue, this thing will be considered to be a cave even if it's not, right? Because of the code that we wrote there, we said that anything can come before this and anything can come after that, so it's gonna be detected as a cave even if it's not, right? So I want you to kind of like know that. So this is like an edge case that you can handle, but how can you handle it? So I think this code is gonna work. Let's just run it for it should work, but let me just run this. Yeah, it failed. Why did it fail now? Did I make a silly mistake? It should work. I still missing when business name I like restaurant, I think. Then restaurant, when business like cave. Then we have cave. Then we have coffee. Then we have cave. When business name school. Then we have school. Else we have others. I'm not sure why it's not, but I think I made it. It could be that I made a silly mistake there. So I'm just gonna scroll down here. So okay, it's fine. Just gonna paste this. Just gonna say tab. See this. We should be fine. Let's see. Okay, it works. So I think I made a silly mistake there that I didn't have time to look into specific spellings, but yeah, but it's still the same code. It's just that I don't know. I call that missed in E or something like that. But anyway, it's fine, guys. But the point that I wanted to make was that this here essentially can detect if this word here it's embedded in another word, it can be detected as a cave. So to avoid that, as a follow-up question, you can say that you can use a word class and you can lower the business description. So you're going to use a regular expression. So essentially you're going to do something like this. Then you're going to say, essentially I want this word to appear. So let's say this was a restaurant. You want to say, I want this to appear alone. Then you're going to say, then restaurant. So this is a regular expression of doing it, and you can do it this way. Okay, so you lower this business, then you say this should appear alone. So you can go about it this way in case they said that. But yeah, I think this was a pretty simple and straightforward question. It was more about how you can actually be able to kind of like detect these things here. It's pretty not efficient. I think it's still you have to scan through the database. So yeah, I think in the next video I'll be covering how to efficiently use these when statement, so that you can speed up your code. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.